Talofa coach Murray from Sāmoa Capital Region Wellington. Momoli whawhatai mole ta'alonga nei aso. Thank you for the game despite the result. What are your initial thoughts on the game and where do you think we lacked tonight?
I just thought we weren't good enough tonight. We turned up and we did exactly what we wanted to do at the start of the game. The game was in the balance for about 15 or 20 minutes, which was really good. On the back of that 15 or 20 minutes, we didn't get our set ends right. We got some kicks away, but didn't get the tackles right on tackle one. On the back of that, we were chasing the ball up the field and having to get behind the ball, and we just couldn't control the ruck speed. That happened 2 or 3 times in a row, and we just seemed to be chasing the game from there. So, I thought that what we wanted to do last week was, improve the start of the game, which I thought we did. I thought we competed there in our contact and our wrestle, and we just couldn't go with them after that. The quality that they have in their team, nothing against the guys that we have in our team. They have some experienced international football players, played a lot of games at the top level, and it's another lesson for our guys tonight.
In hindsight, how much did last week take out of the team?
No, in hindsight, it took nothing out of the team any more than any other football game. It was a strong game for us last week. At the back end of the game, we didn't start the game well. We travelled over here with good intent. We trained really well. Our camp's been excellent for 2 weeks. We've built, real professionalism in the way that we're approaching the games. And tonight, as I said, we started well, but we just couldn't go with the opposition team. So had nothing to do with what happened last week. It had purely to do with what happened on Eden Park tonight.
What did the Kiwis do so well from your point of view?
During periods of the game, they were able to find defenders and get one-on-one tackles. We thought that when we were able to get numbers into our tackles, which was part of our plan, we were able to slow them down. If you were to look at the ruck speed tonight or the play the ball speed, we actually slowed them down more than what they slowed us down when we had the minimal ball that we had. Unfortunately, when they did get one-on-one tackles, they were able to offload the ball, and that put pressure on us and our defensive line. And on the back of pressure, that's when you make your poorer decisions. So putting that pressure back on ourselves rather than putting the pressure on them just makes it too difficult in the big games.
With the way the international season is now, it's a very long time before you play again. How do you sort of, build on what you've done over the last 4 weeks or reflect on it?
Yeah, it's about taking the lessons, isn't it? It's about being able to look back on the last 2 weeks, reflect and review what was good about the camp, what was good about the weeks, how we did it well. For myself, learning on things that we did well as a staff and that we could change as a staff, and the bigger picture in the group. And we've done a great job to build fans, and you see that out there on the field today. Like it was blue and red. We had the major fan base out on the field, so we've done a really good job in the background there with our commercial department and drumming up people to get to the game. Now we just need to tidy up some things around our footy game and also build some experience in our team. We had some young guys last week that really thrived, and then today they played well, but it wasn't as good as what it was last week. So that's NRL footy week to week for those guys to build that experience and then be able to take it and step it up at the international level. Today we just got left behind in a few departments with some of our younger guys.
Any injuries, Ben?
No injuries.
What was the story with Connolly midweek? He was in a brace. What's the story there?
Yeah, he's got a knee problem. Yeah, he'll go back home and have that looked at. So, he was never going to play. He was in the circumstance after last weekend where I just won't put our players at risk. It's not the way that I work. Their well-being comes first. They've got club football to go back to and pre-seasons to go back to. And he wasn't a 50-50. He was definitely not playing. But from his point of view, he wanted to stay with the team and he wanted to stay part of the team, and we thought that it was good for him to be here, so we kept him on.
Is it, in that case, an injury that might worry him going into pre-season?
I wouldn't think so, no.
Toa was in the list in the previous week, from the list of the week. What happened with him?
We wanted him to come back. That's what happened. Yeah, unfortunately, he couldn't. You know as well as anyone sitting in this room that with Samoan people, family comes first.
Sure.
With me, family comes first as well. And Brian's wife is heavily pregnant. She has been, carrying the baby for 9 months, obviously, but at the moment, she's really heavily pregnant. There's some different things going on over there with them. So I said to him, he has the choice. We'll keep the option open for him to return. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for us. But Brian's a player that is so experienced, and he's played in some of the biggest games on the biggest arenas, that you would be happy for him to return to come into our team. On saying that, Greg Marzio was excellent today. I thought that he came in, made his debut at Test football, didn't put a foot wrong out on the field. Ran hard. They couldn't handle him when he ran the ball. Let's look at the positives. Let's look at the guys that were here. But for Brian, we wish him the best, and we wish his wife the best, because their baby's due in today, potentially the next couple of days. So really looking forward to hearing some good news there.
Talk about those positives. Maybe just looking past the scoreline, what are some of those positives from, tonight's game, and as well as the Australian game against the Kangaroos over the last couple of weeks? Yeah,
the positives are the camp, and building the camp, and building the camaraderie and the connection, building the connection back to the community as well. I think in the last 2 weeks we've been able to build a real connection with the Samoan community and the Samoan people, both in Townsville and also here in Auckland. We knew coming to Auckland that we were going to have a lot of support, and we were able to go and return that support, and that's part of the Samoan culture, is service. So the boys understand that, and they want to go about returning service to their community. So that was the first thing. We've also blooded a number of players. Like we had 9 debutants last week. We had 3 debutants today. That's almost the whole team that has debuted in the last 2 weeks. So not a lot of experience in the team. But we're going to have some guys that go back to the NRL as better players. And me personally, as a coach, that's one of the reasons that I coach, is to have guys come into my team and know that when they walk away not only as better players, but also better people. And I think that the experiences that they've been able to have this week will definitely help out with that.
Yeah, I guess on top of that, how important was it after, the Rugby League World Cup final? To build on that performance, to have playing the likes of the Kangaroos and the Kiwis, especially the Kiwis you haven't played, I guess, outside of the World Cup since 2017. I just guess how important have those been? Oh,
really important. They're great opportunities to learn, and they're great opportunities for our players to learn. We would have liked a different result today, and we would have liked a different result last week. And, as I said to the boys, we're here to prepare to learn to win test matches. And that's what we want to do ultimately. The thing is there's no excuses. The opposition were a better team tonight, and they played better than what we did. And they put their best foot forward. But we need to be able to, step back now, have a look at what we've done, take the experience that we've been able to build, and then come back together for a camp, and however long it takes for that camp to come around, and be better again next time. Although we didn't win, as you said, there's some great experiences to take away, and our players will be better going back to their clubs and then for this experience next time around.
As you're probably aware, New Zealand Rugby League are putting together a World Cup bid for 2026, which would involve Samoa playing games in Samoa. How much do you think that would mean for the team to go and play World Cup games there, and for the community?
It'd mean everything to the Samoan people. You saw the support that we got here today in Auckland. You imagine taking that game to Samoa and the support that would be there back in Samoa. We've had a lot of support all week from different people in different places all over the world, not just in the Auckland community, but from communities back in Samoa and from other places throughout the world. So there's a big following for the Toa Samoa team. So to be able to take a game to home, it could be anything, couldn't it?
And just on the future, Ben, would you like to see the NRL bring back the mid-year test weekend?
For us, we need test matches, so whatever the NRL decides to do there, they decide to do. I don't make those decisions at the end of the day, but from our point of view, we want to play test matches. We've had an opportunity, as I said, for a number of our guys to play 2 test matches now. Well, we need more of those so that we can build up that experience, so that then when we go against a side like Australia or New Zealand, who have guys who have 15 or 20 test matches under their belt, that's how we start to be able to compete with those teams.
Is it a bit crazy? You've got to wait a year now to play again?
For sure. That's the reality of it, though, isn't it? Like, you know, it's everyone has a laugh about it, but that's the reality of it. That's what we're dealing with. And New Zealand and Australia have dealt with the same thing. So it's no different for anyone. It's just a matter of being able to come together, build the experience, go away and, you know, learn playing NRL as well, and then come back together and be better again next time. And that's what we plan to do.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.